Hello, my name is Lizzie, and this is Lizzie's Literary Life, and it is finally time to announce Wonderthon 3, the Medieval Wonders Readathon. So, Wonderthon is back. I am so excited. I've been planning this for so long. I've been planning this since the last round ended, if we're being honest. I'm so excited to bring to you all of the new things, all of the things that are so exciting. Actually, I'm not bringing you all the new things because there are surprises. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Welcome if you're here for the first time. Wonderthon is a team-based strategy readathon that is just so much chaotic, crazy fun. Everyone reads a whole ton of books, and it blows my mind every single year, and I am so excited to have you, or I'm so excited you're back. So, as you know, we are traveling through time to medieval England this year. I'm super excited about this theme. I think it's going to be super fun, and let's just get into it. The Readathon runs from midnight, so the beginning of the day on Saturday, June 14th, to 11:59 p.m., the end of the day on Sunday, June 29th. So you have 2 full weeks with an extra weekend. You can participate in either EST, which is my time zone, or your time zone, whatever it is, but just don't pick another time zone. Those are your 2 options. Shall we get into the teams? You have 4 team options. Each one is a castle in medieval England. The first one is Annick, and Annick is led by Danielle from Danielle Reads and Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. Their team genre, which we'll get into how the team genres work later. Basically, you get bonus points for rating your team genre, but you don't have to read it exclusively. Their team genre is fantasy and sci-fi, and their bonus category, which, again, we'll get into it, is in the artillery category. The second team is Bodium. Bodium is led by Bailey from Is Bailey Reading. Their team genre is romance, and the bonus category is archery. The third team is Dover, led by Martine from Just Martine, and the Dover's team genre is mystery, thriller, and horror, and the bonus is in the cavalry category. And finally, we have Warwick, which is led by Ruby from Ruby Red. The team genre is literary and historical fiction, and the bonus category is infantry. So you can choose your team based on the captain, based on the genre. Like I said, you don't have to read it exclusively, but if you have one genre you really like to read, you can join that team, or you can just join based on vibes. You know, that's valid here. I definitely recommend, after the premiere, watching all of the team captains' announcement videos so you can get kind of a vibe of where their heads are at in terms of strategy and what they are bringing to the table. So, we've got our 4 teams. Let's get into some of the rules. The concept is that you are developing your castle's military prowess through reading books, trying to become the most dominant military in the land. There are 4 categories in which you can submit your books to earn points. So each book only goes to one of these 4 categories. Might be eligible for multiple, but the strategy here is, where do you put your points? And the categories are artillery, archery, cavalry, and infantry. So 4 different types of military tactics. Artillery is like cannons and bombs, archery, obviously, cavalry is horses, and infantry is like the people with swords, the masses of soldiers with swords. So those are our categories. Each book only goes to 1, and your team's overall score will be the average of all of the individual category scores. So you can't just focus on one category, you can't neglect another one, because the overall score is an average of those 4 category scores, like it was last year. Like I mentioned, you get a bonus for reading in your team genre, which we will discuss later. There's also the modifiers, where big books earn more points than small books. There's also the wonders. There's a lot of elements. We will discuss them all throughout this video. There's also chapters down below. So if you are confused about a specific part, you can look there. There's also a written rules document that will be linked in the description after the premiere, as well as in the Discord, so you can refer back to that if you're confused about anything. And we have an FAQ channel in the Discord, so if you're confused, just ask. I wanted to do a little section about what's new this year before we get into all of the nitty-gritty of the rules in case you are returning. One thing that I took feedback on was more modifier categories. So there's more specific modifier categories to break down how many points each book gets based on length. There's also a new type of way of earning points that I'm really excited about. The battle, like what was showcases last year, the battle structures with the rewards and damages is a little less like kind of, I don't want to say predatory, but it was a little bit predatory last year where like big teams were like farming little teams for points because that's what was advantageous based on the rules. So I'm trying a new prize damage structure this year that hopefully should remedy that. There's also a bonus for having a high average pages per book. I'm always trying to encourage people to read longer books. For this, I know that Wonderthon is short book time and that's not going to go away, but if you are wanting to read longer books, there are even more bonuses for that this time. There is merch, so that's exciting. We'll get to that at the end of the video. And I just want to put out there that I have so many more new things, so many more like tricks, surprises, new elements that are up my sleeve that aren't even going to be in this video because they're not starting until after the Readathon has started. So if you're like, what even is new this year? There's more. There's more. But I don't want to overwhelm anyone. So let's get into the rules. The first category of points we're going to talk about is artillery. This is the graphic works category. So if you are reading a graphic novel, a manga, anything that is told in pictures, it must be submitted to this category. All graphic works must be submitted to the artillery category, and no non-graphic works can be submitted to the artillery category. I'm going to move over so I can show you the graphics. The graphics, you already saw some of them. You saw the team logos. I'm going to show you the prompt graphics. You've seen the overall Readathon logo in the thumbnail. They are all designed by Ruby from Ruby Red. Ruby is incredible and I love her and she does such a good job with these graphics every year. So super duper excited to show them to you. I'm going to move myself over so I can put them on the screen. Okay, artillery prompts are on the screen. This is a list of prompts. You can use up to 3 per artillery book submission. So each book can fit up to 3 of these prompts and you can reuse them between books as many times as you want. For 1 point, you can continue a series. You can read a graphic work that is illustrated in full color throughout. You can read a book by an author of color. For 2 points, you can read a book by a female or non-binary author. You can read a book that you own, and you can read a book with LGBTQ+ representation. For 3 points, you can read a book with animals on the cover, with plants on the cover, or a book that you borrowed from the library. And for 4 points, you can read a book that has an adaptation. So an adaptation was made of that book. You can read a book with a weapon on the cover, or you can read a book that is an adaptation of something else. I know there's a lot of graphic novel adaptations of prose novels or of like mangas based on animes. Those go for that prompt that is an adaptation. And those are the artillery prompts. I love this graphic. I think it looks so good with the cannons. I think just the cannonballs, so cool. Ruby did an incredible job. I said earlier that Anik has the bonus in the artillery category, and after earning the coat of arms, which is the first stage of the wonder, which we'll talk about wonders, but after earning the coat of arms, Anik members can use up to 5 prompts per book instead of 3. Archery. Archery is our next category of prompts. I will put the board up on the screen here. Archery points are earned based on the genre and the primary color on the cover of the book. So you look at the archery board, you're going to find your genre down on the left side. I tried to cover everything, so whichever fits best. Primary genre present in the book, and then you find the primary color on the cover of the book across the top. The intersection there has a number. That is how many points that book is worth. You must use the primary color on the cover of the book. If you're not sure what that is, if it's a busy cover with a lot of colors on it, there's a channel in the Discord called What Color Is This Book? And you can ask there, get lots of people's opinions. I know there's going to be some wiggle room there, but just do your best to be honest about what the primary color on the cover of the book is. And the advantage for Bodium after earning their coat of arms is that they can use any color that is present on the cover of the book. It doesn't have to be the primary color. So any color that is on the cover at all for Bodium after the coat of arms, they can use that as their primary color for archery points. Cavalry points. Cavalry points are a game board. They're similar to the economics board from last year. And you're moving across and around this board based on the last digit of the page count of the book. So if your book is 428 pages, you are moving 8 spaces along the cavalry board. If you're reading physically, use the page count in the edition that you read, including any back matter. So the last page number that is on a page, that is the page number you use. If you're not reading physically, use the Goodreads edition, Goodreads page count. If that number is a 0, you can either move 10 spaces or stay where you are, but you can't get points for a single space more than twice in a row. So if you land on that coveted 30-point space, you can then read a book that ends in a 0 page count and stay on that space, but after that, you have to move on. Whenever you loop the board, so you get to the end and you loop right back around to the beginning, each book that loops the board gets an additional 8 points. You do have to keep track of your progress along this board yourself. So keep track of where you are so that when you read your next book that you're going to submit for cavalry, you know where you're moving from. And Dover, after earning the coat of arms, can use any digit from the page count to be the number of spaces they move. So if it's, what did I say? 428 page book, they can move 4 spaces, 2 spaces, or 8 spaces. Just gives you a little more freedom to get those high point spaces. Infantry points are similar to what science has been in the past. It is a flow chart, as you will see on the screen. I also love this graphic. I think it's gorgeous. So it is a flow chart. So you're going down the flow chart, following the paths. So you can't skip across, go from like one on the left to one on the right in the next row. You have to follow down. And you also have to do the prompts in order. So you have to do the 2-point prompt, then the 4-point prompt, then the 8-point prompt, then the 16-point prompt. You can do 2 prompts at once, up to 2 prompts at once. So the most efficient way to move through this is to do the 2-point prompt, 2-point prompt and 4-point prompt that are connected, and then do the 8 and 16-point prompt with 2 books. So one for the 2 and 4, one for the 8 and 16, but there's other ways you can do it, and there are examples in the rules document for things that are allowed and not allowed. I think most of the prompts are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through them just in case. The 2-point prompts are to read an audiobook and to read an ebook or physical book. If you never read audiobooks, you don't have to. You don't have to use that side of the board. You can always use the other side of the board. That is fine. The 4-point prompts are a middle grade YA book, so a middle grade or YA. An adult book, so general audience, adult, it's not middle grade or YA. A new release, that is 2024 or 2025 release. Backlist, which is 2023 or earlier in terms of publication year. Our 8-point prompts are sequel, TBR veteran, which just means it's been on your radar. Either you've owned it or it's been on your Goodreads shelf or whatever. It's been on your radar for a really long time and you're finally getting to it. Person on the cover has an adaptation. So there's been an adaptation, movie, TV, whatever, based on it. New to you author, set in Asia or Africa, small town setting, includes a romance. Those are your 8-point prompts. The 16-point prompts are minimalist cover. If you don't really know what that would entail, or if you're not sure if your cover is minimalist, you can ask in the Discord and people will give their opinions. But just like a cover that's not super busy, that just has a title on it, or just a title and one symbol or something minimalist. We have the earth element prompt. So the element prompts are kind of up to interpretation. Again, if you want opinions on whether a book counts, feel free to ask in the Discord. People will give their opinions. But earth elements, so like it's got an earthy word in the title. It like has a really like a desert on the cover or something like that. Something, or it can be in the plot that there's someone with earth magic in there. Something that is really distinctly based in the earth. LGBTQ plus rep. Water element, same thing as earth element, just for water. Set in the future. Disability or mental health rep. A reread. Air element. A debut novel. So this has to be the author's first book that they have published. It's okay if they've published books since, but the one you're reading was their first one. Author of color. Set in winter. Source of light on the cover. Published before 1975. Set in the country where you live. Fire element, and based on a true story. So those are our infantry prompts. And like I said, you have to follow the paths in order, and you can't jump across the board. However, Warwick, after earning the coat of arms, can jump around horizontally on the board. So they don't have to do prompts that are connected, like connected by the little chains, but they do have to do the levels in order. So a 2, then a 4, then an 8, and the 16. Though you can do 2 prompts with one book, so it could be 2 and 4, and then 8 and 16. I know this, if you're new, this category is a little confusing. There are plenty of people that can help explain it to you and how this works. Everyone in the Discord is super nice, so feel free to ask me, ask your team captain, or just ask someone who's participated before, and they can definitely explain it to you. Bonuses and modifiers. Every book that is within your team genres were said at the beginning during the team section, gets an additional 3 points. So the team genre bonus is 3 points. You get your category score, whatever you got from the category you are submitting it to, plus an additional 3 points if it's in your team genre. And then after the category points and the team genre bonus is added, that score is multiplied by a modifier based on the length of the book. There are a lot more modifier categories this year, like I mentioned. So there's a lot more specificity in the point differences. I'm going to put those modifiers on the screen. This is a screenshot from the rules document, so you can refer back to that. I'm not going to go through every single one, but for example, a book that is less than 49 pages, so a really, really short book, only receives 5% of the points that it would if it was longer than your initial point value. So it's multiplied by 0.05. While the book that is over 600 pages receives double the points, is multiplied by 2. So basically, like, you find the category that your page count of the book falls into, and you multiply the score you already have by the modifier. If the math is confusing, what you need to understand is that the longer the book is, the more points it receives. And the shorter the book is, the less points it receives. And my fancy spreadsheet does all of the math for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Every submission also works towards building the 2 stages of the wonder. And those are the coat of arms and then the castle. So the coat of arms gives the category bonuses that I've already mentioned. I mentioned them in the category sections. So like, for example, Anik in the artillery section can use 5 prompts per book instead of 3 for artillery points. Each team has a category bonus that they earn from the coat of arms, and that coat of arms is earned at 1,500 wonder points. I'll get to what wonder points are in a sec. The castle gives a bonus in battles, we'll talk about battles in a minute. That bonus is unique to each team and kept secret. So I'm not going to tell you what they are now, and you, when you earn it, don't have to tell any of the other teams what you got, and that is earned at 4,000 wonder points. Wonder points are equal to the average number of pages read per person on the team, with graphic works counting as half the number of pages. So it's basically like the total number of pages read by everyone on the team, except that any pages that were part of a graphic work, so submitted to the artillery category, count as half. And then it's divided by the number of people on the team. And you earn wonder points to earn your coat of arms in your castle. And like I said, every single submission, every single page you read is going towards those wonder points as well. A new element we have this year is feasts. So anytime a team's average pages per book, so the average length of the books they're reading, is greater than 300, they are giving a feast. So if everyone on Anik has been reading really long books and their average pages per book is greater than 300, Anik is giving a feast. And there are two bonuses for giving a feast. The first one is that every book submitted while a team is giving a feast, submitted by that team, while a team is giving a feast, is moved up a modifier category. So if your book is 320 pages, typically it would be in the 300 to 349 category. It is, if you're giving a feast, it gets moved up to the 350 to 399 category. So it's going to be more points. Every book is more points while you're giving a feast. And while feasting, the team will have access to all the other team's battle points, which are books read per player. We'll get to it. So they know which teams are battling when. This can be a huge advantage because you know what's coming in terms of battles. The feast bonuses are only active while the team's average book length is over 300. If they dip back down below that threshold, the bonuses go away. Battles. One of my favorite and also the most chaotic elements of this readathon is the battles. Battle points are the average number of books read per player on the team, with graphic works counting as half a book each. So total number of books read by all of the players on the team, with graphic works count as half, divided by the number of people on the team. Average number of books read, that is your battle points. And every time a team increases their battle points by 3 books, so when battle points reaches 3, when it reaches 6, when it reaches 9, when it reaches 12, etc., they are eligible to declare a battle. When a battle is declared, the declaring team will choose which team to compete against and in which category. So if Bodium is eligible for a battle, they might say, I'm going to hit Dover with infantry. I'm going to go in with my swords, with my army, with my infantry, and I'm going to poke at Dover. And then Dover has to respond with infantry. So when a battle is declared, the declaring team chooses what's going on. The scores for that category will be compared to determine the winner. Whoever has more points in that category, whether it be infantry or whatever, is the winner of the battle. The prize for winning a battle is 5% of the losing team's overall score. So if you beat a team that is higher up in the overall ranking of like overall points, you earn more points. So going after the team that's in last place, while you might be more likely to win, you're going to get less points as a reward. So it's kind of like more risk, more reward. You want to go after teams that are powerful because then you will get more points as a prize. The damage taken when losing a battle is also 5%, but it's 5% of the difference between the two category scores. So the 2 infantry scores, if infantry is the category we're working with, are compared. 5% of that difference is going to be subtracted from the losing team's score. So there's actually not that much of a risk. Like, you don't lose that much when you lose a battle, depending on what the numbers are. But you can potentially earn a ton of points from beating a team that is higher up than you in the overall ranking. All battles will be resolved between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. EST each day. Sorry if your time zone means you're going to be asleep during that time. We have to do a consistent time that works for the team captains, and we're all in EST and CST. So all battles will be resolved during that hour and will be announced in the Discord. And that's most all of the things. Some miscellaneous notes. All points are averaged based on team size. So larger teams don't have an advantage over smaller teams because it's all averaged out based on the number of people on the team. The submission form is very user-friendly and goes directly into my master spreadsheet that calculates all the points. So you don't have to keep track of anything except like what you're reading and I guess your spot on the cavalry board. But if you want to, there's an optional personal points tracker spreadsheet in the Google Drive, which is linked down below or will be after the premiere. And that can help you like keep track of how many points you individually have earned. But you don't have to use that. You just have to submit books to the submission form so it goes into my master spreadsheet. And you must submit books as soon as you finish them. So you can't save all your books for the end. You can't save a book until after a battle. Because of the battle mechanic, you must submit books as soon as you finish them. Each team will also have access to a team points tracking spreadsheet. Those are linked in the team chats in the Discord. And that'll show all of your team scores. So all of your individual category scores, all of the scores for your team, as well as the wonder points for every other team as a sneak peek. So you can tell who is closest to their wonder. And if you're giving a feast, the battle points for the other teams will also show up there, but only if you're giving a feast. Standings updates and mystery stats will be given every other day in the Discord. So every other night, usually I do them like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock EST. I will come into the Discord and I will give you an update on who is in first place, etc. As well as I also give mystery stats. Those are just fun. A random stat based on something random that you don't know what it is. I just think those are fun. And like I mentioned earlier, there are more elements coming. I didn't want to overwhelm this video with new stuff since it's already such a complex readathon, and if people are coming in who haven't participated before, I know it's a lot. I didn't want to give too much more. But I have a lot up my sleeve. There are multiple other elements that are coming, surprises, tricks, exciting things. So just look out. Just look forward to what's going to happen. I am so excited and you guys are going to freak out. Like I just am excited. That's all. And another last very exciting thing, we have merch. We have bookmarks. Ruby from Ruby Red, who did all the graphics, has designed bookmarks. They have, I'll show you, I don't have them yet, but I will show you both sides of the bookmark on either side of my head. They have all of the Team Shield logos on them, and also it says Medieval Wonderthon 2025. They're super cool looking. I love them, and I'm so excited to own one. They are going to be $3.50 each, and that includes worldwide shipping, so no matter what or where you live in the world, $3.50. I will be selling them on my Ko-fi page, Ko-fi, however you say that. It'll be linked down below. I've never really done this before, so bear with me, but they should be coming to me within a week of the announcement video going up because I have ordered them. And I will update with like a photo of what they actually look like when I get them. And then I will be sending them out. I'll be sending them all out myself just in like an envelope with a stamp. Keeping it simple this year, but I would be definitely down to expand merch in the future. This is just kind of a tester of interest and the whole process. So if you're interested in buying a bookmark, definitely do that. And I think that's it. If you would like to join, you must join the Discord. You must be in the Discord to participate this year. So the sign-up form will be only over there. It's not going to be in the description down below. That's because things will be occurring over there. So it'll be in the sign-up form will be in the important links channel on the Discord. Go ahead and sign up. if you are excited to join your team. Make sure also to watch all the team captains announcement videos. Those will be linked in the description after the premiere as well. And I am so excited to read with you all. I'm so excited for the chaos and the craziness that I have planned. I love Wonderthon. I love this community. So join us. Comment down below if you are joining, what team you're going to join, and what are you excited about. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I think that's it. So I will see you in the next one, coming very soon. Bye!